The story we have today from my first Treasury Fairy Tales is ta-da-ta-dum, Hansel and Gretel. The story has been adapted by Brian Conway and illustrated by Thea Klyros. In a tiny cottage at the edge of the forest, a poor woodcutter lives with his children, Hansel and Gretel. One day, while Hansel and Gretel play a game in the woods, their father calls them into the house. Our cupboards are empty, he sighs. I work hard each day, but I still do not have enough food to feed myself and both of you. The woodcutter loves his children, but he cannot take care of them alone. He needs them to help gather food. I'm afraid I have to teach you how to care for yourselves, he says sadly. There is no time to waste with playing. We must all work. Hansel and Gretel are sad, but they love their father and they understand. Tomorrow we will go into the woods, he continues. I will teach you how to gather fruit, how to hunt, and how to fish. Hansel and Gretel are clever children. They want to make their father proud, so they make a plan to help him. They want to surprise their father with their cleverness. Hansel and Gretel wake up early the next day. They set out into the woods without their father. They hope to bring back enough food for supper. They bring only a loaf of bread with them. Hansel and Gretel drop a trail of breadcrumbs behind them as they walk. Once they have gathered enough food for the family, they plan to follow the trail of breadcrumbs back home. Hansel and Gretel wander through the woods. The children find an apple tree, but the fruit is too high to reach. They find a stream, but not a single fish. They see many speedy squirrels and rabbits, but they cannot catch a single one. Later in the day, they notice they have entered the deepest, scariest part of the woods. They see nothing familiar around them. Their path of breadcrumbs, once so carefully and cleverly placed, has become a fine supper for a family of nibbling birds. As they wander through the dark woods, Hansel and Gretel do not know which way to turn. Suddenly, they see a lonely little house. As they gather closer to it, they cannot believe their eyes. Look, Hansel, Gretel calls out. This little cottage is made of the most delightful things. The little gingerbread house is covered with sweets. The two hungry children break pieces from the house and begin to eat. As Hansel nibbles at the creamy frosting around the gingerbread window, the door opens. An old woman hobbles out. Go away, mice, she says. Oh, excuse us, dear lady, says Hansel, but we are children, and we are lost in the woods and very hungry. Oh, please forgive me, says the old woman sweetly. I do not see very well. Come in, and I will fix you a nice hot meal. Hansel and Gretel follow the woman into the house. Hansel and Gretel are glad to have found this house. The old woman is kind to them. She fills them with hot turkey, fresh fruit, cookies, and cakes. She even makes pancakes for Gretel. The children were never so well fed at home. Go ahead, says the old woman. Have some more. Hansel and Gretel are very happy to fill their plates again. The old woman holds Gretel's arm and says, My, you are a skinny girl, aren't you? I will fatten you right up. Gretel is a little startled. But I like the size I am now, she says. Why would you want me to be fatter? The old woman lets out a little laugh. All children should be plump and healthy, she chuckles. I hope you two have room for some apple pie. Hansel and Gretel wonder why the old woman has not eaten. She's still busy in the kitchen building up the fire in the oven. There is just one more dish to make, she says with a scary laugh. I will have my fill of it soon. Hansel and Gretel exchange worried whispers. I think this strange woman is not nice at all, whispers Hansel. Gretel adds, she wants us to be plump so she can put us in the oven and have us for supper. Hansel and Gretel sneak up behind the old woman. They bump her into the oven and run as fast as they can from the gingerbread house. After many days of searching, Hansel and Gretel find their way back to their father's cottage. As soon as the woodcutter sees his children, he drops his axe and runs to hug them. I have missed you both so much, he says. I promise we'll always have enough to eat, and I will never let you out of my sight again. Hansel and Gretel are happy to be home again.